On or around March 22nd, 2024, the owner of the Kansas City Accountability YouTube channel, who we will refer to as Mr. Moses, was filming outside the Central Bank of Kansas City in Kansas City, Missouri. After approximately 8 minutes, one of the bank employees exited the building to ask Mr. Moses about his conduct.
I'm sorry?
What are you doing?
Recording.
What?
Recording.
Like, what do you like, is it like a project or?
Yeah, I'm an independent journalist. I'm just gathering content for a story.
I'm just curious, like what's the story about?
I can't tell you.
You can't tell me?
Because it'll compromise my story.
Oh.
It ain't published yet.
Oh.
Once it get published, I can definitely tell you about the story and send you the link.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I'm not doing anything. I have no ill intent.
I was just wondering.
Yeah, it's all good. Huh? I was recording.
You're not supposed to record a bank.
You're not supposed to what?
You can't record a bank.
I can barely hear you. I'm so sorry.
Do not record the bank. Do not record a bank.
And who told you that?
You can't do that. Not that you can record it.
What's your name?
I'm not giving you money. You can record it, okay?
Okay.
Following this brief exchange, Mr. Moses remained outside the bank and filmed for approximately 20 minutes before declaring that the bank had passed his audit and leaving the sidewalk. As Mr. Moses approached his vehicle, he was stopped by Officer Bremer and Officer Cordova of the Kansas City Police Department. The incident that followed was captured on both officer body camera and Mr. Moses' cell phone.
Hey, man.
How's it going?
Apparently you guys were Officer Bremer.
Bremer. And what's your name and badge number?
Long story short, it sounds like whatever you were doing at the bank, they don't want you to be over there.
I was on the public sidewalk recording.
Okay, well, they said whatever you were doing, they just don't want you over there anymore.
I was on the public sidewalk. They can't tell me not to be on the
I don't know, man. That's why I came over here to talk to
You want to go
you.
over there?
No, not really.
You can go over there.
And
I told them, they came outside. Let me calm down. They came outside. The guy, Aaron, he said, hey, what are you doing? I said, I'm an independent journalist. I'm just gathering content on the story. I was walking all the way up down Truman, and I walked down there to record the train. And then the lady came out. She said, hey, you can't record the bank. I said, ma'am, I'm on public property. So
yeah, but you could see why that would kind of make them uncomfortable, right? I mean, it's a bank.
you can't even see nothing.
I know, but they don't know that.
Yeah, you can. If you stand outside and you look at the bank, you
Yeah.
can't see anything. The windows is tinted. It's
Okay.
reflected.
Do you have an ID on you?
Do I need an ID?
Yes.
For what? What crime have I committed?
They identified you. You just identified yourself as being over there.
On the sidewalk.
I'm investigating.
Okay, what
whatever
crime?
this is.
What crime?
Possible trespassing?
I was on the sidewalk.
Identify you so we can issue you the warning for trespassing.
I was. How you gonna trespass me and I'm on the sidewalk?
Because they're saying you were on the property.
I got camera footage. Now, if they lying to you, and I show you that they're lying, are you gonna do something to them?
That's between you and them at that point.
No.
That would be a court deal.
It's lying. I'm on the public sidewalk. I came all the way up Truman. I walked down there to get the footage of the train. On my way back, I just looked at the bank, and they came running outside.
Okay.
So, yeah, came back over here, walked there, about to go to work.
Okay, so I need your ID.
No, sir.
I do, though.
No, you do not. For what crime?
I just told you they put in a call on you.
I wasn't.
You just identified yourself.
And I wish I was still on that sidewalk when you pulled up. I wish I was on the sidewalk. I was right here, sir.
So I'm confused, man. So you're gonna refuse to give me your information for a lawful stop?
No, I'm not.
So you're gonna get arrested and hindered?
No, I'm not obligated to give you my ID.
You are. I just told you.
Because I haven't committed no crime.
I just told you.
No crime was committed, sir.
Brother, is your tags aren't coming back on file. Okay. For the Kansas registration. Do you have the registration paperwork for it? You can hold your phone up and zoom.
No, it's okay. No, I'm trying to
I'm
be.
asking you a legitimate question. Do you have the registration for the vehicle?
Hey, you guys. So this is when, and I had my selfie stick out when I was recording. I was on the public side.
Now you're redirecting against my question of.
I don't have to answer your question.
I asked you if you have the registration information for your vehicle that you drove here on Missouri roadway that is unregistered as of right now. Now, it doesn't go through our system. We ran it through out of Kansas.
Go ahead.
Now we need to verify to make sure. So that's why I'm asking you if you have the paperwork.
You didn't see me drive the car.
How else did you get here?
It don't matter.
How else did you get
It don't matter, sir.
It does
It does.
Officer Cordova informs Mr. Moses that his vehicle is unregistered according to their records and demands that Mr. Moses provide his registration for the vehicle, despite never having witnessed Mr. Moses actually drive the vehicle. Under Missouri law, officers may require drivers to present certain documents only when those individuals are lawfully stopped for vehicle operation or traffic enforcement. The state's registration statutes, Section 301.020 and Section 301.130, require that a vehicle be registered before it is operated on a public roadway, and that evidence of that registration be carried in the vehicle. However, neither statute authorizes an officer to compel production of registration documents absent a lawful traffic stop. Missouri appellate courts have repeatedly treated requests for registration as permissible components of an otherwise lawful traffic stop, but not as an independent enforcement power. Now, while Section 302.181 mandates that a driver's license be exhibited, quote-unquote, upon demand while driving, and Section 303.024 requires proof of insurance when an officer lawfully stops a driver, the omission of similar language in the registration statutes indicates that no such duty exists outside a valid traffic stop. Furthermore, as mentioned in many previous episodes, the Fourth Amendment protects citizens from unreasonable searches and seizures, and the Kansas City officers would have been required to meet the burden of reasonable suspicion before they could issue any lawful commands to Mr. Moses. We will discuss whether the officers had reasonable suspicion in more detail later in this episode, but it is important to note that there is a strong argument that Mr. Moses was under no legal obligation to present his registration card under these circumstances.
And if you see that came from a dealership.
You're not wanting to give us your information.
Listen, if I committed a crime, I will give you my ID.
Doing good.
That's what reasonable, articulable suspicion of a crime. I was standing on that sidewalk, sir.
Hey man, there is a Ford Taurus out here. It's unregistered. The guy can't drive it because it's not registered.
Which one, sir?
It's over here.
Can you show me how to come?
Yeah.
Why would you try to infringe on my rights?
Okay, so let me get this straight. So
Why would you try to infringe on my rights?
you're gonna stand outside of a bank in midday, and I heard you.
Okay.
So you're gonna stand outside of a bank in midday, videotaping the bank, and you don't think that's gonna make the employees extremely uncomfortable?
See, where they get
Because
uncomfortable.
You're in the inner city.
Listen.
Do you stay in Kansas?
Their uncomfortability don't
You're
stop
in the
my
inner
right.
city of KCMO, okay, so that makes most businesses extremely uncomfortable.
And what's up with your buddy, man?
This car right here, it's not registered.
We don't know.
I know. So I'm asking you, can I tow that car out of your lot? Yes? Yes?
Do it.
Yes? Okay.
We don't know when they bought the car. Just so we don't know, sir.
Okay.
So now that you've identified yourself now as the one being standing out there
Standing on
and
the sidewalk.
videotaping them and making them feel uncomfortable,
I came
to issue the verbal warning,
listen.
which is what we're trying to do so we can send you about your way, you're refusing to give your information.
No. What happened?
So
is,
I'm only going to ask you one more time, and then I'm just going to have to cuff you up, man. I don't want to do that. I would like to send you about your way. Yeah, absolutely.
Please.
Officer Bremer tells Mr. Moses that he will place him in handcuffs if he does not surrender his identification to the officers so that they can issue a verbal trespass warning banning Mr. Moses from the bank's property. Under Missouri Revised Statute 569.140, criminal trespass in the first degree requires that an individual knowingly enter or remain unlawfully on a property after being forbidden to do so. And the statute's notice requirement makes clear that a trespass offense does not occur unless a prior warning has been given. A request from a property owner to issue a future trespass warning does not constitute a violation of law and does not authorize officers to compel identification from citizens. As discussed in many previous episodes, the Supreme Court held that compelled identification is permissible only during a lawful investigative detention supported by reasonable suspicion that a crime has been committed in the 2004 case of Heibel versus 6th Judicial District Court of Nevada. In the 2011 case of Missouri versus Waldrop Jr., Later, the Missouri Supreme Court cited the Heibel case to reaffirm that reasonable suspicion is necessary in order to demand a suspect's name, address, and an explanation of their actions. Now, because the officers lacked reasonable suspicion that Mr. Moses had committed trespass or any other criminal offense, they had no lawful basis to detain him. And without a lawful detention, Mr. Moses was under no statutory or constitutional obligation to identify himself. Accordingly, Officer Bremer's threat to place Mr. Moses in handcuffs for refusing to provide identification was unsupported by Missouri trespass law and also inconsistent with the constitutional limits that govern compelled identification.
You know what I would have liked to happen when you guys pulled up and they called you guys? Hey, where was he standing at? Was he on you guys' property? You should have... What I would have liked is, sir, when you pulled up and they told you what happened, hey, he was on the sidewalk, he has every right to record on the sidewalk. I wasn't even coming to the bank. I was coming to get the train.
There's officers that monitor the city cameras that saw you verbatim on their property.
That's a lie.
It's in the call notes,
okay,
brother.
Do you want me to stop this video and show you?
No, I would like to get your information so I could issue the verbal warning and send you about your way.
I wasn't on their property. That's how trespass works. Trespass, if you're on the property, they tell you to leave. That's how it go. They give you a chance to leave, and then you're trespassed.
And they don't know that you have a selfie stick. Why would citizens that are probably unarmed come and approach you?
You say that one more time?
Why? Okay, so first off, you're videotaping, you're standing outside, you're being extremely suspicious. They can't tell that that's a selfie stick. Why would citizens that are on...
It was like this.
How are you going to ask me a question and then not let me finish?
I was like, Aaron came outside and talked to me. We had a good dialogue. That's not what the lady on the phone said to put in the call about you. I can show you the video. Y'all want to see the video?
No, I'd like to get your information so I could send you away.
For reasonable, articulable suspicion.
I just did. I gave you all the reasonable suspicion we would need as a law enforcement officer.
Let's just see what the supervisor said when you get here. This is wow.
Okay, well, I don't like your movement, so I'm going to...
What I'm doing?
You keep backing away from the car.
I'm not
You're being extremely suspicious.
Why are y'all taking my camera?
And you're going to be detained.
I'm
you're not
going
under arrest. You can keep your little stick thing on there. But you keep backing up towards the road, and I don't like that.
No, I'm not going anywhere.
And the fact that you're refusing to give us any sort of information, we're just gonna sit you on the curb, brother. And
reaching into your pocket.
Yeah, I don't like all the jazz.
Can I hold that, please?
No.
Okay.
Over here at the corner.
Okay, I'll just put it on the hood.
Yeah. They said we can get the car towed out of here if we needed to.
Come on, what would you?
That's too much, bro.
What am I'm in cuffs. Ain't nothing in my pocket. My portable charger, pat me down. Come on, pat me down. Consent to search your person? I have nothing on me. I have my portable charger.
Are you giving me consent to search your person?
No, sir, man.
Okay, then have a seat.
Can I stand?
No, you cannot. Have a seat.
Cross your ankles, partner.
This is...
Per our policy, when we sit you down, you need to kick your legs out and cross them.
Oh, my God.
So are you going to refuse another lawful order? Is that what I'm gathering?
First of all, you got me detained.
Yes, correct.
I'm on a public sidewalk.
At this point, hindering. And I literally just said that I would like to let you go, and you just continue to keep going.
Have it on camera by chance, our mail that we have detained here on bank property at any point. Hi, Alan. This is Officer Cordova with the police department. Hi, I wanted to we have your mail here at the gas station. He's detained in the handcuffs. I just wanted to get some details regarding what exactly happened there. Okay, so he was on the grass, and that's bank property.
And he went like down our little sidewalk here on the side of our building. And was recorded from that area too.
Okay, so the sidewalks are city property, but if he's in the grassed area, on where you're telling me that the grassed area there is property of the central bank?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I do appreciate it, ma'am. Hi, is this Helen?
Yes.
Sorry, it's Officer Cordova again. I just wanted to ask, ma'am, are you willing to sign a complaint for the lawful trespass?
Yeah, I'll sign it.
Okay, and you did tell him that he wasn't allowed on the bank property, correct?
I told him it was against the law for him to be recording our bank.
Right,
And
right.
he even asked me what was my name while he was recording. When I was telling him he couldn't do that because of the against the law.
Okay. So then I won't issue him a charge for trespassing. I'll issue him a trespass warning. Okay, we'll get him identified. I'll issue him a trespass warning. I'll print out the warning for you and I'll bring it to you. Can I get your name and date of birth? I do appreciate it. Okay.
I thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye. Okay, sir. So, you were on the sidewalk during that point. I want to tell you that. But you were also in the grass area.
No, I wasn't. I got it on we got camera footage.
You were on
no,
the grass.
I was never on the grass, sir. I know the law. This is what I do. I'm an independent journalist, sir.
She talked to you while you were in the grass.
I wasn't in the grass. I'm on the sidewalk.
Which is their property. Which I understand.
Let you talk.
But I am going to issue you a trespass warning.
I was not on the grass,
It's not
sir.
a charge. It's just saying that you cannot be trespassing.
Here goes the guy that knows the law.
Understand what I'm saying?
That's the captain, but he'll probably tell you the same thing.
Okay. And what's his name?
Captain Clark?
Captain Clark?
Yes, sir.
You want to talk? The calling party talked to him on the grass, which is their property.
Real-time answer, yeah.
Yeah, he was on their property in the grassed area, again, which is their property. I don't know the full conversation because she had it with Jed, but they asked him to leave. He's now refusing to give us his information and says that we're unlawfully detaining him. And wants a supervisor.
How you doing, Captain Clark?
Fine, how are you?
How you doing? Okay, my name.
The body camera audio briefly cuts out here, but Mr. Moses explains his version of events to Captain Clark. And unlike the other officers, the captain listens to Mr. Moses and makes a legitimate effort to actually understand the situation.
I walked over here.
Bank call.
Yes.
I walked over here. I got everything on camera too, sir. I can show you.
All right. Well, I tell you what.
And he
They call it so there's cameras everywhere in here. So you were. The easement right there is the sidewalk, but the grassy area actually belongs to the. Okay. Well, here's the thing. So does the bank want to do anything?
They can't trespass me. I was on the sidewalk. I was on the sidewalk. You can't trespass me from public property. Plain view doctrine.
Okay.
Can't trespass my eyes. Anything I see.
What was your first name?
Moses. My name. You can just call me Moses, sir.
So I don't have to. So you guys okay if I stand him up?
And
Moses, when you stand up, that way I don't have to.
And I have,
okay.
And I have no ill intent. I have nothing on me.
Like here, that way we don't have to.
Yes, sir.
You don't have to look straight up.
Yes,
at me.
sir. You guys
Hold on
supervise
a
it.
second.
We could have already sent you home, brother.
Your captain's finna coach him.
Well, he's about to tell him the same thing he told you.
Okay.
We need to get him ID'd for a trespass warning for the bank. He was on the bank property in the grass. I talked to the calling party. Her name's Ellen. And she's still there. She works there, but she contacted him in the grass saying, "Hey, you can't record." He said, "Okay, that's fine." And he said, "You can't tell me I can't record." And he said, "You can't tell me I can't record." And so,
All right, we'll catch you later.
he stepped back onto the sidewalk, and so they want to issue him a trespass warning because it was the one time. And so they would like us to be able to issue him a trespass warning, but we need to get him identified.
So, was he ever warned not to be on the property beforehand?
Not before and at that time.
So we have no violation of law then, correct?
Just the warning.
So he didn't want to ID himself?
No.
I mean, he didn't break the law. He didn't have to ID himself.
Okay.
So it'd be one thing if he went back up on there after he was warned, but
Okay.
I mean, you can tell him, sorry, you didn't break the law. We can't just ID people because they wanted to give trespass warnings.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Broadcasting it. I'm just asking because you're not broadcasting it on.
Okay. You disagree with that? Yes, you disagree, or yes?
Yeah, that was what the conversation we were about to have when.
So, yeah. Unless we have a criminal problem with them.
No, I'm gonna head out there.
Okay.
Look at this. They taking cuffs off me.
Yeah, I told you were detained.
Illegal.
Now you're just being confrontational again, brother.
Another issue. All right, Captain. Yes, sir. Another issue is his vehicle is not coming back on file through Kansas registration.
Okay.
So I talked to the property. It doesn't come back, and he didn't want to provide me the registration information for it.
That's our sergeant.
That's the sergeant? Hey, how you doing, Sergeant?
How you doing, man?
What's your name and your badge number, sir?
Star 4, 5382.
Yes, sir. Again, just to give you a little quick rough draft on what just took place here, man. I'm an independent journalist. Again, I'm just gathering content for a story right before work. It just seemed like you just was like just digging, just wanted to arrest me, man. I have no ill
against you, brother. We're told something.
Here's the deal. They got called. The reason why everyone went by, they're the ones who got called. The other ones did. So
Right.
they were responding to a call. I get it.
Right.
You're right. You're on the sidewalk. You ain't breaking any law. So they claim you're on their property. Obviously, just so you know, you're not allowed on their property. If you're on
Yes,
their property,
sir. Yes, sir. I do this for a living. I'm an independent journalist. You know what I'm saying?
Well, independent journalist, no, you can't be on the private
I
property.
wasn't.
They don't want you on.
I was never on the property, though. You know what I'm saying?
And that's fine. I mean, if they like they said they were.
It's okay.
You were there freely.
Yeah.
They warned you, don't go back. So now
Yeah.
you've been warned, don't go back on their property.
I was never on it, but
Again, they were responding to a call. That's all they were doing.
just what kind of, well, I want to say kind of like just bother me is how you pronounce your name? What's your name and badge number? Cordova. And this is all just a learning experience. You know what I'm saying? I never knew how long you've been on the force, and sometimes you never come into a situation like this. But once I told you what took place, you was still pushing the issue. I said, hey, sir, you said they trying to trespass you. I'm like, I never was on their property. It's the plain view doctrine. Whatever I see in public, I can record. You can't trespass my eyes, man. That's all.
After a brief exchange with Mr. Moses, the officers left the scene without further incident. It is unclear whether Mr. Moses followed up with any complaint or legal action. Overall, Officer Bremer and Officer Cordova get an F for failing to conduct a legitimate investigation before detaining Mr. Moses, displaying fundamental misunderstandings about basic constitutional principles, and for maintaining a hostile and condescending attitude throughout the encounter. The body-worn camera footage shows that Officer Bremer and Officer Cordova initiated the encounter with Mr. Moses based solely on a complaint from bank employees without first confirming whether any criminal conduct had occurred. Instead of determining the precise location from which Mr. Moses had been filming, verifying property boundaries, or reviewing the video evidence that Mr. Moses repeatedly offered, both officers immediately defaulted to investigative detention procedures and simply assumed that a trespass violation had occurred. As mentioned in the episode, Mr. Moses never entered the bank's property, and he was never told that he was not allowed on the bank's property. The only instruction that was given to him was that he was not allowed to, quote-unquote, film the bank. The officer's failure to establish even the threshold factual predicate for trespassing demonstrates a lack of understanding of Missouri's trespass framework and also disregards the statutory requirement of notice as a prerequisite to an actual violation. Furthermore, the officers compounded these errors by demanding Mr. Moses's identification for the purpose of issuing a trespass warning, despite the absence of any tangible criminal violation, and then going on to threaten to arrest him for quote-unquote hindering if he continued to refuse. Not only did the officers clearly lack reasonable suspicion to demand Mr. Moses's ID, but neither Missouri's hindering statute or resisting statute would have applied to Mr. Moses's conduct. The officers' reliance on quote-unquote hindering and other meaningless misinterpretations of state law reflected a fundamental misunderstanding of Missouri's criminal code, and their use of these whimsical assertions in order to justify continued detention lacked any statutory basis. Officer Cordova's conduct also demonstrated extremely questionable discretionary decision-making, as he arbitrarily sought permission from a private business owner to tow Mr. Moses's vehicle, despite having witnessed no criminal activity and without observing the vehicle in operation. This action was a blatant attempt to convert a non-criminal encounter into a punitive interaction, and further illustrated a failure to distinguish between legitimate legal authority and Officer Cordova's ego. This interaction highlights the consequences of conducting an investigation without confirming basic facts. Also, the constitutional risks created when officers rely on authority that they do not possess, and also the importance of ensuring that reasonable suspicion, not assumptions or third-party allegations, guide every stage of a police encounter. Now, Sergeant Porter and Captain Clark get an A+ for demonstrating a strong understanding of both Missouri law and constitutional precedent, immediately correcting the actions of their officers, and for treating Mr. Moses with dignity and respect throughout the encounter. When Sergeant Porter and Captain Clark arrived on scene, they were presented with an encounter that had already escalated beyond the boundaries that were permitted under Missouri law and the Fourth Amendment. As mentioned earlier, the initial officers detained Mr. Moses without verifying any of the elements that are necessary to establish reasonable suspicion of trespass or any other offense. Upon their arrival, both supervisors took immediate steps to gather accurate information. They took the time to listen to Mr. Moses' explanation, and they evaluated the situation quickly and accurately. Their willingness to listen to Mr. Moses' account and review the officer's statements allowed them to identify that the detention lacked factual support and that Mr. Moses had remained in a location that the law recognizes as a public right-of-way. This corrective posture demonstrates a strong command of Missouri's trespass statute and the constitutional limitations that are governing police authority as a whole. Sergeant Porter's handling of the identification issue further reflected a clear understanding of the legal framework surrounding reasonable suspicion and Missouri's identification laws, and largely served as the primary catalyst for de-escalating this encounter and avoiding a costly lawsuit. Sergeant Porter and Captain Clark's intervention terminated an unlawful detention, it prevented further escalation, and it ensured that Mr. Moses' rights were respected moving forward. And it also demonstrates how supervisory presence can correct misapplications of law, guide less experienced officers, and prevent routine encounters from evolving into avoidable constitutional violations. This interaction highlights the essential role that informed and decisive supervisory intervention plays in maintaining constitutional policing, correcting field-level mistakes, and safeguarding the rights of citizens during police encounters. I commend Sergeant Porter and Captain Clark for defending Mr. Moses' constitutional rights and for upholding their oath to protect and serve the citizens of their city. Mr. Moses also gets an A+, because although it could be argued that he should have invoked his right to remain silent at some point during the encounter, he demonstrated an excellent understanding of the constitutional principles at play. He remained calm and collected throughout the interaction, and he ultimately left the scene without surrendering his ID. Mr. Moses positioned himself well within the protections of the First Amendment by filming exclusively from public easement areas and avoiding any entry onto private property. And it is clear that he has a strong understanding of the legal nuance that is surrounding filming in public. Mr. Moses also displayed a clear understanding of the constitutional standards governing investigative detentions and compelled identification. While he did choose to engage with the officers rather than remain silent, he articulated his position calmly and consistently, and clearly explained that he was under no obligation to identify himself absent reasonable suspicion of a crime. Mr. Moses reiterated this principle without hostility. He avoided escalating the encounter through confrontational language, and he continued to make sure that he was willing to show the officers exactly where he stood during the filming. His restraint and clarity all ensured that the factual record was consistent and accurate, and that the officers' unsupported assumptions were challenged without provoking additional escalation. Despite being placed in handcuffs, threatened with arrest, and confronted with repeated assertions of authority that lacked legal foundation, Mr. Moses kept his composure and insisted that the officers respect his rights. He answered questions in a manner that provided context without waiving his rights, and he avoided statements that could have been misunderstood as admissions of wrongdoing. While it can always be argued that complete silence is the safest approach during police encounters, Mr. Moses' decision to engage constructively was tailored to dispel suspicion and clarify the circumstances of the incident. His conversational approach, though not advisable for every citizen, remained measured and purposeful, and it ultimately contributed to the supervisor's rapid realization that he had committed no crime. I commend Mr. Moses for demonstrating a thorough understanding of the constitutional principles governing public photography, compelled identification, and the limits of police authority, and also his ability to remain calm and collected at all times. So be sure to give your support to the Kansas City Accountability Channel. You can find a link in the description down below. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out Audit the Court if you're interested in exploring the legal nuance beyond the body cam.